Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans, and of course, Falcon fans. T Will's in the building. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. One time for the fan, episode 214. Back at you talking Falcons football. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. Shout out to Kerry. Shout out to Bodie. Shout out to Chase. One time for the fan. Once again, we are here. This is lunchtime with one time for the fan. We missed breakfast with one time for the fan, but we're back for lunchtime with one time for the fan. So big shout out to you all. I know most of you all probably waiting for the morning show. We had some things to take care of this morning, so we got a little bit behind schedule. But guess what? We are back because we couldn't wait till Sunday to come talk Falcons football with you. We had to talk Falcons football with you right now. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and so much more. Tell your Falcons friends, tag your Falcons family. T Will, what's going on with your brother?
Jack Spade, how are you, sir? All well? Everything going okay?
Everything is going great, man. Everything's going great. Couldn't play golf today. Had my schedule kind of mixed up, but that's going to be taken care of on Sunday. But otherwise than that, everything's fine, man. How's your day going, brother?
It's going pretty well. Having a couple of friends over tomorrow, so had to kind of get the house ready today. So, it looks like our schedule's kind of aligned there because you had stuff to do, I had stuff to do. So, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're here now and we're ready to talk some Falcons. And hey, man, guess what? It wasn't as bad as we thought, right? Because I know I was.
Tampering situation that we talked about the other night, or really a couple of days ago, that we was waiting for, some type of word. It happened yesterday, so we got some information to provide for you all here shortly. But it wasn't as bad as people think. It wasn't as severe. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. When they put that word severe in there, it gets you real shaken up.
Man, I was afraid, dude. I was like, tampering. And the NFL is embarrassed. That's all you kept hearing. The NFL is embarrassed.
I promise you, won't be any Mike Florio rants going on up here tonight.
Dude, what is up with him? Like, did he lose a bet? Like, I mean,
you losing them parlays. That's what happened when you don't hit them parlays.
Bro, this is personal. Like, this feels like, dare I say it, a vendetta. Like a blood oath or something. Like this. Florio, what's his name? Florio?
Florio.
I mean, he's on his John Wick, man. Like it
seems like he doesn't like the Falcons. That's what it looks like right there. Like nobody else was going as hard as him about trying to find out some type of information about why we didn't get punished severely. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Bro, it feels like he feels that the Falcons are responsible for the death of his dog. That's what it feels like. Like he's like, he's on his John Wick. Like, I'm just saying, man, he's just it's got to be personal with him. Dude's still going today. You realize that, right? He's still going today.
I'm trying to stay off of social media as much as I can right now because I have some stuff to take care of. And if I get on social media, I just get behind schedule. Of course, with one time for the fan and Rise Up Tour fan club, everything that we have to do, and we chat with so many people, I will just get lost in just talking Falcons for the next 5-6 hours. And I have some bunch of stuff to do. So I did not watch anything that Pro Football Talk said today. But I'm guessing fans are still giving him a good ears full. He's still talking, Terry.
Still talking, man.
Shit.
I don't know. I don't. You know what? It's either one of two things. Either he is secretly, I know he covers another team or whatever, but I think he may secretly be a Saints fan. Like
I heard he was a Vikings fan. I heard he was a Vikings fan. So he might be upset that Kirk Cousins is here in Atlanta and Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback.
I don't get Viking energy. Like, Cobra Commander.
You don't get the skull feeling coming from him?
I get Cobra Commander from him.
The what?
Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe. Like they're never gonna tell you
Cobra Commander, the G.I. Joe
Commander, and Destro.
You're on fire so far right now. 10 minutes into the podcast,
saying, man. I'm just, bro. Cobra Commander's never gonna tell you. And what was that guy, the chameleon guy or whatever, that took over the presidency? He could change and morph into anybody, whatever. Like that's what I get from Florio. Like we don't know.
Shit.
don't know what his
like
real
a scroll, like a
is.
Marvel scroll. Like he goes
Yeah,
into
something like that.
goes
Exactly.
into his office and he just turns
Yep.
into the windows. You know,
Yeah.
those scrolls
Yeah.
just
Just
climbing all
whatever.
over the wall. And
Yeah. Yeah.
damn it,
He's
Mike.
secretly a Saints fan. That's what it. Because that is too much hate. That
Falcon
is too
fans,
much
he
hate
went
coming
in
off his
yesterday. I
chest.
mean, Adam Scheffner, Ian Rappaport. We're going to talk about it here in a couple minutes. But after they made their announcement about the ruling, that was it. That's all you heard from them. Then you saw some CBS reporters get involved. Of course, the Falcons reporters mentioned some stuff about it. But no, not Mike Florell. He was going in. He was trying to make sure he finds out somebody has to get suspended. He wanted somebody gone. He wanted the team sold that day. That's what he wanted. But it wasn't happening. So shout out to the scroll. Mike Florell. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Smooth C78's here in the chat with the one time for the fan.
Florio said, I'm putting cases on all y'all.
Shit.
You think you can do this to me?
Big shout out to Eric Parker, too, as well, for the memes that he kept putting out.
Oh, my God.
There was some funny memes. I plead the fifth meme with Terry.
With Dave Chappelle. Oh, my God.
The Dave Chappelle one that Eric Parker put out it's probably going viral right now. But man, I saw another one this morning with Thanos when Thanos was talking to young Gamora. And Thanos said, she said, what did you do? And Thanos said, I had to do it. And then she said, what did it cost you? And then Thanos said, it only cost me a fifth. And then the jokes of the fans saying, oh, it only cost you a fifth and 250 racks? Hey, I'll do it again. Shit, go tamper again.
Oh, my God.
Only a fifth? Shit, Terry, call me. I'll make some calls for you, Terry.
Bro,
if that's what the situation may be. But we'll get to that. Talking Falcons football. We want to have a laugh here. We want to have a good time. Once again, we don't bash the team. We don't bash the players. It's all about positivity here on One Time for the Fan. So bring your questions, bring your comments here to the chat. Let's talk Falcons football because I know not only Smooth, but Dwayne Ruffin is here, wants to talk Falcons football.
Ruff? What's up, Smooth?
He say, we in here. I can still hear Mike Flores. He can hear the tears hit the ground. That's some tears. Wasn't it house party when what was it? Duncan Penderhughes ran into house party was.
Yeah, that was Duncan. Wait,
Duncan Penderhughes was class act. House party was Blade Brown and
No. Blade Brown was still class act.
He was still class act.
No, house party. They were kid and play.
Kid and play.
Yeah, they were.
That's when Kid was getting chased by full force.
Yeah, the three dudes
and ran into George Clinton at the barbecue.
Your ass. I'm gonna kick your ass.
He's like, might cry. He said, I might cry 2 tears in the bucket. Fuck it.
I might cry 2. Oh, that was George
Clooney.
No, that was George Clinton.
George Clinton.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, George Clinton.
I might cry 2
George
tears
Clinton,
in the
man.
bucket.
So this is something when you got, Falcon fans here in the chat that want to talk about what the team is doing and what the off season is looking like. And of course, with Mike Florell's situation, that is just too much to handle right now on One Time for the Fan. We're going to get to that in just a minute. 95 North's in the chat with the one time. What's good,
Berto? What's up, Berto? What's up, DSGB? What's up, Carrie? Hey, Miss Pam. I'm just getting everybody out the way.
It's going down in a major way. Smooth C's in the chat. Tampering charges for coordinating and booking flights. Ridiculous. I'm going to try to catch up to the chat so that way we can get to our topics too as well. I know the chat is live, chat is lit. I thank you all for joining us at 3:30 in the middle of the Friday afternoon. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. Once again, we do thank you all for joining up here in the middle of the afternoon. We would have did this podcast in the morning. We thank you all for the support. Even if it's in the evening, we thank you for the support. So for everybody here looking to talk Falcons, drop your questions and comments in the chat. We'll put them on the screen. We'll talk Falcons football. Crimson said, it was fun seeing Mike cry like a baby.
Cry like a baby. What's
Big
up,
shout
Carrie?
out to Carrie, who was with us Wednesday night talking Falcons football.
That was fun.
Big shout out to Carrie. I know the Euros are going on right now, so not only is Carrie getting a chance to watch some soccer, she gets a chance to listen to some One Time for the Fan too. So big shout out to Miss Carrie from One Time for the Fan. Carrie says, hit that like button, everyone. It's free.
It is free. It's nothing like $3.99.
Dwayne referenced in the chat. He said, Mike is also he's also a Viking fan too as well.
What up, D Ruff? It's good, man.
Big shout out to David. Dwayne Ruffin here in the chat. I'm about to say David Ruffin from the Temptation.
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. Hey, Miss Pam, how you
Big
doing?
shout out to Auntie Pam in the chat. Hello, Jack and Terry, and everyone in the chat. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Smoothie said, "Wow, Cobra, Serpentor. Shit.
Serpentor. I forgot about him. That's also who I wanted to say, Serpentor. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Think about G.I. Joe. That was the funniest cartoon ever where nobody ever died. They must have shot 1,000,000 bullets every episode. I'm dating myself because, you guys may be too young to remember the cartoon, but that was like the one cartoon where they literally fired 1,000,000 bullets and nobody ever got shot, which was weird. It was opposite of Robotech, which was a cartoon that was released in the 80s where everybody got killed. It was a dose of reality. So there you go.
We haven't even got to the topics yet, and everybody's already ripping Mike in the
They
chat.
should
He's
rip
a
Mike.
hater. I
They
think
should
he's just
rip
one
Mike.
of those guys who hates to be wrong, and boy, was he wrong saying we'd get a first-round pick taken away. It wasn't even about being wrong on that level, because a lot of people mentioned that. It's about him after the ruling, still trying to find out how the Falcons can serve some more justice, because that wasn't enough to
Your Honor,
TFT. That wasn't
Your
enough
Honor,
for Mike's podcast.
Your Honor, that's not enough. Okay? That's not. I know they only did it the day of, but they have to lose something, okay? All right? Somebody needs to get fired or fined or suspended or something, okay? Because
There's
my
gonna be times where
constituency with the Saints, I mean the Vikings, they demand it.
Terry, there's going to be time when people are wrong, and you can just admit you're wrong, and you can see where the facts are, where you went wrong, where your opinion wasn't as valid as somebody else's, and we understand that. But if you're still trying to not only show people how bad you look when you're wrong, that's when it gets to a point where it's like, bro, what is up with you? Like Mike said that we were going to get served some heavy fines and penalties of first-round picks here and there and all this other stuff. All right, it didn't happen. Go about your day. But not for Mike, who's not even a Falcon fan.
No. I strenuously object. Oh, you don't object. You strenuously object. Yes, you remember that from A Few Good Men where like Kevin is going off on Demi Moore because she's like, I strenuously object. And he was like, you say it one time so the judge can hear. You say it again, you have the whole jury believing the guy's right. There's a difference between court law and trial law. Jesus. That's somebody needs to say that to Mike Florio.
Lario's in the chat. We haven't even got to the tampering. I haven't even read off what Ian Rappaport put out, about the ruling, and fans are already going off. So big shout out to all the fans here in the chat who, stuck up for the Falcons fan base yesterday. Stuck up for the team too as well, because I saw what the comments and the retweets were saying with Mike, and everybody got involved. So it's good when everybody can, join in on the fun, Falcon fans. So when the team is winning, when the team is losing, still keep that same energy, right? Everybody was in on the fun yesterday at going at Mike for his comments on the Falcons. So let's just, continue that same positive energy going into the season about Kirk, about Raheem, about Terry, about the rest of the team, Rondo Moore, Bijan Robinson, and these guys. And big shout out to Kerry. Kerry said this podcast is a great start to the weekend. Salute to Jack and Terry for putting out the content. Okay, we have so much going on this season. I'm sure we have not only our Sunday night shows, our Wednesday night shows, and our Friday morning shows, which will be, of course, 9 a.m., or we might have our pop-up shows every now and then. But then we have the open practice to the public coming up.
Yep. July 27th, right?
July 27th. We also have the membership party for the Rise Up Tour fan club. I'll probably be broadcasting from there too as well. Probably like 300 fans will be in the building for that. So that would be great to have everybody there. August the 2nd, too, at the Benz, right? We'll be going live from there, talking Falcons football with some fans. So that would be great for fans to see what's going on with the practice, because a lot of fans here can't see the practice. They'll be at work, or they live in a different city, or live in a different state. So, of course, one time for the fam, do the best we can to go live. If the Falcons have any rules about, photography and video, footage and all this stuff, we would definitely listen to the rules. We don't want to go against what the Falcons say, because they did that at training camp before, where they said, no video recording. So we hope that, they allow us to record something. Of course, a lot of people will, but here with a podcast, we don't want no problems, right? So one time for the fan, we'll definitely bring you some footage there this season, or this off season. But then we have when the season starts, home games, content from there too as well. Away games, content from there too as well. Like this is all throughout the year. So one time for the fan will be giving you guys a lot of content, that I'm sure you all will probably enjoy. So hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. A thou wow, the rack.
Wow, wow.
So if you want to help us out, tell your Falcons friends and family, bring them on in here, let them come talk Falcons football with us. We have a lot of special guests on the channel. We have some more special guests coming up soon too as well. We've been doing pretty well. Well, we have some more special guests coming up. Just know that. I just saw your message too, Terry, so I got you. Okay. Big shout out to Benny Smith in the chat. Big shout out to Carton Branch in the chat. I want all Falcon fans to definitely let us know what you guys think about the Falcons so far this offseason. Tell us what you think about Kirk Cousins. We'll put it up on the chat. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. This is the open space to talk Falcons. This is what One Time for the Fan is all about. It's from the fan. It's for the fan. We can get you guys going for your weekend. And don't forget, we'll be back here Sunday night with another podcast, a Father's Day podcast, right? So we'll be out there Sunday night talking Falcons football with you all. But Terry, let's go ahead and get straight to it, man, because I know some fans here want to know, what is One Time for the Fan talking about today?
What are we talking about today? I have a question for you.
What's up, brother?
So my oldest daughter reached out to me, and she purchased some New Balance shoes, and they were nice. They were Florida State colors. And
oh Lord, this might be a question for Thomas Scott.
It might be. It might just be. But I'm a Falcon, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't wear green and red. I wear black and red for the Falcons. I wear blue and red for the Braves. I wear white. I wear gray. But I typically, I was like, I preferred the Nikes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I shot her some equivalent shoes that I like. And my wife seems to think I was wrong for this, Jack. Do you think I should have just taken the gift, or do you think it was okay to tell her, well, I would prefer this? Like, I just want to know your thoughts. I respect your opinion. I just want to know your thoughts.
What do you think
about that?
Are you going to use the shoes, or are you just going to keep them to the side, or
the ones that she bought? No, absolutely not. I have nothing against New Balance, but I have flat feet. I just don't like the way they fit my feet.
I mean, if you're going to the stores, nothing like putting on some regular going out the house shoes. I was leaving this morning. I was looking at my shoes. A lot of my going out the house shoes is Jordans. So it's kind of
exactly. Yes.
But then again, I need some more going out the house shoes. I just want to put on some Huaraches or some Air Maxes and just walk out.
I love the Air Max.
I wear a lot of Jordans. And if it's not Jordans, it might be flip-flops.
So it's two shoes I like. It's the Air Max and the Jordans.
Yeah.
Right. So I center like the Jordan retros, the low kind, the kind that everybody's wearing now, like with the black. And if I sent you a picture, that, but they're like low dunk, whatever it's called or whatever.
The dunks.
Yeah,
just the Nike check on the side.
Yeah,
just the low.
And
we got the white. We got some pandas over there, some white and black pandas over there. Don't tell me they got you there.
Yeah. So
Lord.
I center that, and my wife was like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that," and I was like, "No, I mean, because it was for Father's Day. The whole thing was it was for Father's Day, and she was like, "Well, are you going to wear it?" And I was like, "I probably wouldn't. Like, I probably wouldn't wear. They hurt my feet. Mm-hmm. So the thing I like about Nikes is they sit up a certain way." But the New Balance, I'm fat. I'm 265 pounds. I got flat feet. Your back is going to hurt if you wear. You got to
rock them. You got to rock them. Just going to the grocery store, heading to the mall. I wouldn't rock them as like the flashiest shoe. Like I wouldn't put on the nicest outfit and walk out around with some New Balances on. But if I'm walking out the house, just something quick. Hell, you might go play tennis, but you might do something. You never know. Might go to Stone Mountain, go run the mountain. So hey, carry the New Balances with you. But I got a closet full of J's, so it's like
I like the taste, man. I like the taste. All right, let's get
to that, man. We're gonna get to that. We have a lot going on here with One Time for the Fan. We got a lot going on here when it comes to the sneakerhead community too, as well.
Love it.
Because my friend hit me up like, man, you want to do a sneaker ball? So I'm thinking about might be invested in a sneaker ball coming up shortly. But for Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. What do we want to talk about today? Let's go over the roster rankings, strength and weaknesses for 2024, where PFF has ranked. Of course, they do their early summer rankings. when it comes to the rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And, we still haven't found the 53 yet for none of these teams. So please, fans in the chat, don't jump on me because, hey, man, what y'all reporting over there? There's still 90 people. They didn't even get to camp yet. PFF is looking at the rosters, the strength of schedule, everything that's going on, and they're making their evaluation of who they think is the top 32 teams in the NFL. And they start with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Terry.
That's fair.
The Chiefs, who won the Super Bowl, is at number 2. They started with the 49ers at number 1.
That's
and of course, you're probably sitting there wondering, well, what does this report have to do with the Falcons, Jack? Of course, if I bring up anything, it's going to have to do with the Falcons.
Of course.
Number 3, they have the Philadelphia Eagles, who we play week 2.
We're going to kick their arse
on Monday night.
35-10. Philip, shout out.
Don't forget about the Chiefs that we play the following week. So you technically, for PFF, what they're saying is that of the top 32 teams in the NFL, the Falcons play the number 2 team and the number 3 team back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
So Falcon fans, be prepared for that. But I think most Falcon fans know that. The New York Jets at number 4, which is surprising.
Wow, that is.
And I know some fans here in the chat are going to get mad. Like, wait, what? The New York Jets at 4?
I think they're assuming that Aaron Rodgers will be back for game 1.
Does anybody know where Aaron Rodgers is right now?
No. Is he in the darkness? Doesn't he do those retreats?
They can't. They don't even know where he is right now. I think I don't know if the coach is lying for him or the organization's starting to lie. They don't know where this man is.
He's out there, man.
There's supposed to be like a LeBron James announcement, Terry, about where this guy is earlier this week.
Wow. It's a whole thing. Well,
like a whole ESPN report. Like, where is Aaron Rodgers?
Where's Waldo? Where's Aaron? I mean, he's out there, man. You know what I mean? But every now and then, I think he goes to these retreats. Didn't he go to a darkness retreat like last year or whatever to recenter?
He went into the treehouse, yes.
Yeah, maybe he went back. Don't know. But okay.
Apparently there's reports that the treehouse has opened over the weekend. So maybe he could be there too as well. But a lot of fans, media looking at it like, well, this is a veteran. We know what Aaron is, we know what he's about. So don't forget about how many MVPs he has. So it's like, let him go into the dark house, and then when he comes out, he'll be ready. But number 5, they have the Baltimore Ravens, who we'll see in preseason. Number 6, the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Number 7 on the list, the Houston Texans, which is a major jump from what I've seen the Texans do in the past couple years.
It is.
Yeah. A big jump.
Yeah.
They said their biggest strength in 2023 is receiver.
Well, they did get better. I mean, they did sign some. They did get better over the offseason, so we'll see.
Going to number 8, the Cincinnati Bengals, who has a quarterback that is still coming back from injury.
I don't know about that. I mean, they could be, right?
NFL loves praising the Cincinnati Bengals. I've noticed that over the years.
Mm-hmm.
They really want the Bengals to go win the Super Bowl. I believe they're still one of those teams like us that hasn't got their Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think they've been to, 3? At least 3? 2 in the 80s and 1 the other year.
As we keep the list going here.
They've been at least 3. They lost against the Rams in 2021, but I think they went to 2 in the 80s with Boomer Esiason, I think. The Cowboys. I don't agree with
Going
that.
to number 9, the Dallas Cowboys, who we play as well.
I don't agree with that. Let me tell you something, and I could be wrong, but the Cowboys, in my experience, don't do well with pressure. You know what I mean? They are the quintessential regular season team. Like, they win 11, 12 games and then collapse in the playoffs. And I feel like there is pressure and eyes on this organization at an all-time high. The head coach knows he's got 1 year and he's got to do it.
They're already starting to mention teams that could be interested in Dak Prescott if he becomes available next season.
It's a free agent year for Dak Prescott, and they have a new defensive coordinator. Now, they could be great, but I think what helps them is that Mike Zimmer is a very good defensive coordinator and an experienced head coach, but he's in Dallas. And there's something about the ethos there that breeds a little chaos and confusion. So I might put the Cowboys at 15. I wouldn't put them at 9. But
if you're going even off of PFF list, PFF, let's go to the top here. And just go ahead and write this down here, Terry, if you can. You have, of course, the 49ers at number 1.
Okay.
That's the NFC West.
Right.
Then you have the Eagles at number 3, NFC East. So let's just say they're the 2 division winners.
Okay.
Right? NFC West is in the playoffs. Eagles, 49ers, they're in the playoffs, right? So let's just keep going down. Number 5. Keep going down. Number 6. Let's go to the Lions now. Number 6, NFC North. So you have 3 teams in the playoffs already, right?
Right.
So let's just say they double up. Of course, now they go to number 9 and they have the Dallas Cowboys. So let's just say Cowboys make the wild card spot, right? So they're in.
Okay.
You go to number 10 now, the Buffalo Bills,
Mm-hmm.
which some fans will say, yeah, Bills is a top 10 team right now.
Okay.
You go to number 11, the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets, all fighting that top 15 spot.
Mm-hmm.
What PFF is saying, NFL roster rankings right here.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Cleveland Browns,
Mm-hmm.
another AFC team at number 12. Number 13, the Green Bay Packers. So you have the Lions winning the division if they have it the way it looks, and then the Packers right behind them. Could be a fight for whoever wins the division, but let's just say both of those teams are top.
Didn't we beat Green Bay last year?
We sure did.
Just check it. Okay.
The Rams, NFC West team, again, over there with the 49ers.
Aren't they missing Mr. Aaron Donald?
They sure are, and they're still ranked at number 14.
Interesting. Okay.
And they're missing Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
a couple other small trainers and so on in the staff. But you get to number 15, and who was the first NFC South team mentioned on your list there, Terry?
Sir, that would be our Atlanta Falcons.
Our Atlanta Falcons at number 15. Why do I bring this up? Because we've been preaching this all season. Out of the top 15 for PFF, NFL roster rankings, and I'm going to get to the odds. I'm going to get to the odds of NFC teams to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in on the Falcons. Is it because of Kirk Cousins? Is it because of Bijan? Is it because of Raheem? Is it because the Arthur Smith not being here, no more Desmond Ridder? I don't know what it is. But a lot of these reports and rankings and stuff that I'm seeing from PFF and a lot of these journalists have the Falcons being a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
At number 15, the Falcons are on this list. Terry, how many NFC teams did we mention before the Falcons? The 49ers.
4. The 49ers, the Eagles, the Lions, and the Cowboys.
Falcon fans, we're trying to get you prepared for the season here of how good this team could be. Right? I know we don't have Calais Campbell no more. Big shout out to Calais Campbell. He's off to the Dolphins.
Yes. Shout out.
And I know we don't have Bud Dupree no more. Big shout out to Bud Dupree. He's off to the Chargers.
Shout out.
Dolphins will be playing preseason. Chargers will be playing the regular season. 2 of our sack leaders are gone. So I know there's some people that's worried about, well, where's the pressure coming from?
Mm-hmm.
It can come from anywhere. This is about to be Trice season. Big shout out to Rook, too, as well. Big shout out to Arnold Ebiketie, too, as well. Lorenzo Carter, this is your season, my brother. This is it. You got to get after it. There's a lot of spaces that Falcon fans are looking at like, man, we got 2 of our biggest pass rushers not in the building. Mm-hmm. But still, you have a lot of weapons on defense that gives the Falcons this 15th ranking for NFL roster rankings through PFF.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins being under 2 as well. Rookies to watch, Braylon Trice. But remember I just mentioned the odds of making the playoffs? Mm-hmm. Falcon fans, PFF putting out another report about the odds to make the playoffs. And it's funny, Terry, that same list had the 49ers,
mm-hmm.
the Eagles,
mm-hmm.
the Lions,
mm-hmm.
the Cowboys,
mm-hmm.
Packers, and wait, there goes the Falcons.
Yep.
Where's the Aints?
Wow, they're not on there, Jack.
Where's the Bucks? We know the Panthers are not even on this list. They got to make another. They got to make a whole separate list for the Panthers.
I think they're hanging with Florio.
It's pretty bad. Where are the Vikings?
No, they're not here. Sir.
Where are the Commanders?
They're
Where
not
are the
on
Cardinals?
They're not on. They weren't invited.
Falcon fans, we're getting you ready for when the season starts. One Time for the Fan only talks about how good this Falcon team could be, and you're seeing it right here when PFF is mentioning it. 53% on the odds to make the playoffs for the Atlanta Falcons. Terry, you're hearing this talk about the roster rankings. You're hearing this talk about odds to make the playoffs for the Falcons. Are you geared up and ready to go?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and the good thing about it, I think the Falcons have the ability to play with any of these teams. And again, we probably look to make a run in a season, you got to have a little bit of luck, and I can acknowledge that. But with that being said, we have a roster of stars, a roster. We got at least 20 guys that are really good NFL players. We got at least 5 or 6 or 7 that are great NFL players, and we have some up and comers. So in the right set of circumstances, we can make a run. Now, most people are going to see the Falcons as you win the division and you win maybe one playoff game and you're out. And that could be our destiny, but we could go deeper. It remains to be seen. The feeling that I get from this coaching staff is the sky's the limit. And the best is yet to come. What excites me about this team is that we have 3 premium first-round draft picks. We got Bijan, we got Drake, we've got Kyle, and neither one of them has been maximized in their utilization. Neither one of them.
Yes.
And you have an opportunity to do that. And that's not even the full assortment of weapons you got. We're not talking about Mooney. We're not talking about Algier. We're not talking about Rondell Moore. We're not talking about Ray McLeod, who I'm told looked really good. Now, I understand they didn't have the pads on. But I'm just saying the feedback from what I'm hearing from a couple of people, Ray looked good, right? So we can throw him in there. The point is we have an arsenal of weapons that we are going to unleash, and we have the quarterback to do it. So, yeah, I think this team can play with the 49ers. Will they? That remains to be seen. But I think we have a shot. I do.
It's good to know. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Your thoughts in the chat. Go ahead and drop your comments about PFF's 2024 roster rankings. Right? Let's go ahead and put it up here to the top. PFF's 2024 roster rankings, strength, weaknesses, and X factors for every starting lineup. And of course, the teams that they have ahead of the Falcons are no surprise. But when you get down, people are probably thinking, oh, the Falcons got to be like 20 on the list, 25 on this list. Mm-hmm. No, the Falcons are sitting at 15. Biggest strength from 2023, the additions of Jesse Bates, Calais Campbell, and Caden Ellis gave the Falcons an elite run defense unit in 2023. They finished second behind Miami in team run defense grade, while ranking 9th in yards allowed per attempt. A lot of top 10 stats for these Falcons. They added even more run defenders in the draft, so this should continue to be the strength of their defense moving forward. Jesse Bates is still here. Caden Ellis is still here. Calais Campbell is not. Biggest weaknesses in 2023, of course, the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it right here. The Falcons' struggles at quarterback have been well documented. Mm-hmm. They ain't talking about the defensive line. They ain't talking about the offensive line. They ain't talking about the depth. They ain't even talking about the coaching. It was the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of fans know this. So how do we improve in 2024? Bam. Kirk Cousins. 4,000-yard passer. Passer ratings through the roof. Big shout out to Big Kirk O'Chains. We don't even mention Kirk O'Chains that much no more in this podcast. That's how good this team is looking. We don't even talk about D. Offer that much no more in this podcast. We haven't mentioned. Give me somebody we haven't mentioned in this podcast in a minute.
Wow. D. Offered.
Jace. We haven't mentioned the Ricky Jace.
No, we really haven't talked about Jace a lot. We really haven't.
This team is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Who else we haven't mentioned? DeMarco Hellams in a while. We haven't mentioned him in a while. Big shout out to DeMarco.
I'm told he looks good. I'm told he.
A lot of fans got it as Jesse and DeMarco right now as they're winning.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm told you can see he gained some size. He was in the weight room in the offseason.
Got to get that speed up, man. You're playing against some passers in the first couple of weeks. Is going to air that ball out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Russell, Pat, Jalen, they're going to go for 30, 40-yard shots down the field.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go for that. And then you kind of lighten up against, Bryce and Sam Darnold and, a lot of other quarterbacks that won't be doing that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But X factor for 2024 is the Falcons is the quarterback, Kirk Cousins. The high price part of Atlanta's renovation at quarterback is, of course, Kirk Cousins. The veteran is on track for a career year before tearing his Achilles against Green Bay last season. Through 8 games, he posted an 85.1 passing grade. Kirk Cousins, through 8 games, had an 85.1 passing grade with 18 touchdowns. Kirk, could you just give us one game from that last season? One game. And we'd be in the playoffs.
Give us as many as you like, Kirk.
Matter of fact, Kirk, give us one play from one of these 18 touchdowns and we'd been in the playoffs. One play. Just imagine that. Your quarterback. He thrives in play action, which should fit perfectly with running back Bijan Robinson. The rookie to watch for, Braylon Trice. It's Trice season, y'all. Get those Braylon Trice jerseys. Have y'all watched some Braylon Trice film recently? This kid is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we talk about Terry hitting the
hammer on the head.
I'm talking about bringing in the right, and Terry plays his draft picks too.
Mm-hmm.
Trice is on the field week 1. That man is on the field week 1, more than 50% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
FBS leader in pressures in 2023 landed in Atlanta in the 3rd round of this year's draft. High motor kid. Don't forget he played in Washington with Penix too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Over under win total, they called the over on 9. I said 12 wins. They called the over on 9.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say
I'm
11.
going to Vegas in December. You best believe I'm putting my bets in. You best goddamn believe it.
Yeah.
Best believe it.
I would say 11-12.
Look at the projected offense. Now they're doing the projected offense, right? And they got the PFF stat numbers up there too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Projected offense for the Falcons. Chat, hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button. We're going to go to the comments in a minute. Kirk Cousins, Bijan, Tyler, Drake Mooney. Don't forget, there's no fullback.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy, whenever they put in, what's his name? Charlie Warner, I should see a lot of audibles coming from him, a lot of motions from him probably playing in that heavy blocking scheme or even sliding down into a fullback slot every now and then. But remember, Steve Weiss even mentioned having a guy like Rondo Moore and Bijan Robinson in the backfield doing some type of audibles. That he don't know the playbook. I'm not saying calling Steve out, but Steve is calling some stuff that he might see based on how they play with Raheem and Zach and everybody back in the past.
Correct.
You have a lot of speed on your offense. Use it.
Mm-hmm. And he also mentioned alignment. He mentioned that
Drake motioning heavy too as well.
Correct. Drake and or Bijan and or Rondell. Right. So
because the matchups is going to get you off guard, Terry.
Right. Well, not only that, but it's going to tell you if they're in zone or man, and good luck if you're a linebacker covering Bijan. Like that
your rookie 3rd or 4th round cornerback 5'10" on Kyle Pitts, who's in motion.
Good luck with that.
Seattle, go ahead and do it.
Good
Carolina,
luck.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Just calling different scenarios out. Jake Matthews, of course, on there too as well. Matthew Bergeron, which we'll talk about shortly. Drew Dahlman, Chris Lindstrom, and Caleb McGarry. And then, of course, we went to the projected lineup for the defense. There goes DeMarco. Snap count raised around the last 5 or 6 games for DeMarco. I think he beat out Richie Grant too as well from Coach Smith's scheme. Jesse Bates. Damn near number one safety in the NFL, if you ask me. D. Offord up there too as well. Clark Phillips up there too as well. AJ Terrell up there. Troy Anderson back in the mix. Putting Troy out there ahead of Nate Landman. Caden Ellis, Trice, Ebiketie, Carter. This looks like a team that I can say, hey man, we might be in we might be going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Just putting it out there.
It could happen.
I like this team. This team is
stacked. It could happen.
I like this team. This team is stacked. So Falcon fans, PFF's 2024 roster rankings has the Falcons at 15th. The PFF odds to make the playoffs has the Falcons over 50%. And if you're looking right now, there is no Aints, there is no Carolina, there's no Panthers. So the Falcons win the division. It's about beating these teams ahead when you get to the playoffs. If they make it to the playoffs. You're like, Jack, you're talking 6 months out. Yeah, I can. That's cool. Like, it's the summertime. Like, this is the Packer fan base is going there like Jordan Love's getting ready to light shit up. Go ask a Packer fan right now. There's some Cowboy fans that believe, yeah, we're going to win the division. I know the Eagles are tough, but we're pretty tough too. Lion fans are feeling, Lion fans are feeling themselves right now. Is this list wrong?
I don't think it's wrong, but, there's so many variables that could take place. What if there's an injury?
I'm not in my feelings right now, Terry. I'm telling the truth.
No, the list isn't wrong. I honestly think the Falcons are better than the Packers. We were last year. We're definitely better
with the addition of Kurt. You can probably put the Falcons up here where the Packers, where the Cowboys should be.
I think the Falcons can be better than the Cowboys. The only teams that concern me a little bit would be the Lions, Eagles, and 49ers in whatever order you want. But anything outside of that, the Cowboys don't scare me. Don't scare me not one bit. So, we'll see.
Falcon fans in that chat, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. T Will has a show coming up here real soon. So we're going to get ready to wrap up this podcast. T Will, tell us a little bit more about your podcast as we get ready for the next topic. I know you got a lot going on. If you talk Falcons, you talk Braves, give us a little bit about For My ATL Sports, man.
Yeah, so for the most part, we talk Falcons. We do get into some Braves. I will probably expand the content for the Braves as the summer progresses along. Braves aren't doing pretty well right now, but we're hanging in there. But we got a show today at 4:30. Going to have on there Mr. Jabri Harper. Some of you guys
the
know
Archangel.
The Archangel.
Make sure you ask Jabri if you get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Jabri drove down to New Orleans with me last year. First time for Jabri going to New Orleans, Rise Up Tour fan club.
Okay.
Ask Jabri about his time in New Orleans because you're driving down there and it's a 6-7 hour drive. And I'm telling Jabri about everything that's about to happen when we get to New Orleans. And by the moment we get off the exit and we turn into the French Quarter, Jabri's he's like a kid at Six Flags for the first time.
Mm. Just looking, huh?
Just what? What? Because the French Quarter will do that to you. As a Falcon fan, you know you're going down there on vacation, but it's business too. Gotta be about your business when you get on the French Quarter. You gotta be about your business.
As the young folks say, gotta stand on business.
You gotta stand on business once you get to that hotel. And I just booked too as well. So for Falcon fans going out to New Orleans, if you're looking for deals and stuff, we're not doing any host hotel for fans anyway. So I'm at the Crown Plaza. If y'all want to go to the Crown, and there's Falcon fans all in the Crown, I'll let y'all know right now. But the Crown is at the corner of Bourbon and Canal. So when you're coming off any street from any party, you have to pass the Crown. You go into the casino, you got to pass the Crown. You heading to Bourbon Street, you got to pass the Crown because the Crown's at the top of Bourbon Street. So for Falcon fans looking for some hotel to hang out, I'm gonna be doing the podcast from the hotel too as well. So for fans, if you want to be a part of it, man, let us know. But ask Jabri about that. But yeah, For My ATL Sports, man, you're doing great so far. The subscriber count is going up. People are chiming in. They really love what you got going on.
Thank you.
Why the podcast, Terry? I know you love talking with the fans, but give us a little bit about why Terry is in the Falcons community and the Braves community space talking sports with us.
I don't know, man. I've been talking sports for 40-something years. My dad would be like, "Can you just shut up?" And finally, one day he said to me, "You should consider being an announcer because you never shut up about it." And I was like, "Well, Dad, I love talking Braves. I love talking Falcons. I love talking dogs. I hadn't ventured into that yet, but I think it's fun to talk about. And there's some topics that come up that just make you think, right? Like case in point, can the Falcons really make the Super Bowl next year? Can they really make the Super Bowl? And you could make a case that they could. Now, it doesn't mean that they will. Okay. But they have a very real shot. You get past those first 4 or 5 games. Let's say you're 3-2. Let's say you're 4-1. You really have an easy schedule from
that. Playoff pushes right after that. Fans will start. Maybe you're getting back to that feeling of 2016 where fans know around week 10, 11, you're possibly going to the playoffs.
I think you will.
We haven't had that feeling in quite some time.
We haven't. It's since 2016.
And the 49ers, that's on that list that we talked about, they know that they're going to the playoffs around week 12, week 13. Matter of fact, you go ask a 49er fan right now, and you tell them the Falcons going to give y'all a show this year. The 49er fans going to say, what? Don't you know we've been in the NFC Championship? You can't tell a 49er fan otherwise because they believe that they're going to be in the Super Bowl because of how good their team has been. So for Falcon fans, big shout out to James in the chat. There goes James. Anything can happen. Raheem talked about it. You punch your ticket to the playoffs. Look at that video with the Houston Texans with D'Amico Ryans when that was his first year coaching. He was in the locker room crying. Why? Because his team punched their ticket to the playoffs in his first year coaching. That's an accomplishment for him. There are fans that bash teams for making the playoffs. We haven't made the playoffs in the past 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be one of the teams to make the playoffs. The Bills keeps getting a shot every year. The Ravens keep getting a shot every year. I want to be that. I want my shot too.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan gave us those chances. Julio Jones gave us that opportunity. That coaching staff, that team that was built around some of those players was incredible. But this new roster, it kind of sucks for fans to think about, Terry, that Julio and Matt couldn't get the job done as great as they were.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got to rely on Kirk Cousins. You have to rely on Drake London. You got to rely on AJ Terrell. You got to rely on Grady Jarrett, right? How long did Fletcher Cox play in the league before the Eagles got him his Super Bowl ring?
Woo, at least 10, 11 years, wasn't it? It was a while.
It can happen. How long did Aaron Donald get there before he got his ring?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It can happen, man. James Overton's in the chat with anything can happen, man. It's right there. That needs to be on the back of a T-shirt right there, walking into that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That anything can happen. I believe Raheem is preaching this shit. Don't get over here on one time for the fans talking about we wrong. Tell the Falcons they wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem preaching it. We just over here backing it up. Raheem talking about outrun the South. We didn't say outrun the South first. Raheem said it. Raheem said you punch your ticket to get to the playoffs. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And I legit feel like this offense will be top 10, if not top 5.
Bro, did you hear Raheem's comments when he talked about the Rams and they knew that they was getting ready to win the Super Bowl? I need that feeling here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
When he said it, oh, we already knew in the building that it was getting ready to happen. What?
Mm-hmm.
Man, come on, man. Fast forward me to January, man.
Mm. I think
but stop at the Rise Up Tour fan club events on the road.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Fast forward me to January, though. But yeah, what you got there?
I think if the Falcons win the Super Bowl, Matt Ryan and Julio should get a ring. I think they should
add them to the coaching staff for the last day,
or just give them a complimentary ring.
Ring of honor.
I think they deserve it. I do. I think they. It's unfortunate, and it wasn't their fault. Like, Matt. I think his rating was like third highest in a Super Bowl for a losing quarterback ever, third or second. Like he was, and Julio played great. So I feel like those two players,
Grady Jarrett too as well,
and Grady had 3 sacks. So you're right, but Grady will be on this team, so he'll get his right. Matt and Julio, they're pretty much done. So,
a friend of mine pointed out every team will eventually win a Super Bowl. Every team will win one day. Every team will win one.
One day.
When is our one day going to happen?
Yeah, right.
James says 1 game at a time. Well, guess what? 1 game at a time with 1 time for a fan. We're going to be here every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
1 time for the fan, I promise you. Every step of the way. I just mentioned practice on the 27th, practice on the 2nd, pop-up shows, special guests, everything that's going on with 1 time for the fan. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So, of course, when we get to it, that's our wow. When we get to a thou wow, we're going to take it to the next level. Amazon podcast has been great to us. Apple Podcast is doing very well. Spotify podcast is doing very, very well. I mean, I want to give a shout out to everybody who listens to it overseas and stuff too. There's a lot of people that listen to it in Germany. Big shout out to you all. There's a lot of people that listen to it in Poland too as well. Okay, big shout out to you all. Canada, we have a lot of following too as well. And then everybody who, of course, is a part of the Rise Up Tour fan club. You know what we got going on over there with that. So we want to just wrap up this podcast here shortly. We got another topic before Terry got to roll out. Head to his podcast. Falcon fans, the 2024 all breakout team. If you was putting together a team of players to watch for that you think could break out this season, Falcon fans will look and say, oh man, the Falcons have a bunch of players. But the way PFF does their rankings and their stats and their analytics is that they're going to try to put out something that, all teams can enjoy. But then there's a couple players that's not on the list that a couple fan bases are really upset about. That's how it came across my page. I was like, oh, why are y'all upset that your players are not there? But there's some Falcons on the list. So we're going to talk about it. At quarterback on your all breakout 2024 team, Terry, you have Will Levis from the Titans. Who beat us?
Will Levis. Yes, he did. Yeah,
who beat us?
Beat the snot out of us.
Chase Brown, running back from the Cincinnati Bengals. So your starting quarterback would be Will Levis. Your starting running back would be Chase Brown from the Bengals. Your starting wide receiver would be Michael Wilson from the Arizona Cardinals. Your starting wide receiver would be Khalil Shakir from the Buffalo Bills. Then you get down to another wide receiver, Rashid Shaheed from the New Orleans Saints. Ill.
Ew.
Then you
Ew.
get tight end Luke Musgrave from the Green Bay Packers. You get to your offensive line, you have left tackle Bernard Ryman from the Indianapolis Colts. You get to your starting left guard, you have Matthew Bergeron from the Atlanta Falcons in his second season. The 2023 second-round draft pick out of Syracuse took his lumps as a rookie, but had enough flashes for there to be optimism that he can become a plus starter for the Atlanta Falcons in 2024. Bergeron had 4 games last season where he didn't allow any pressure in pass protection. Hey, Kurt.
Don't worry about it. I got
Did you
this.
hear that? Matthew Bergeron is on the list for the 2024 All Breakout team, which fans saw when he was drafted last year. Okay, we need a guard, but who is this kid from Syracuse? He quickly fit in with the team. He quickly became the starter. Now look at him going into his second season as the starter again. There's no camp battle for Matthew Bergeron, Terry.
Not at all. Nor should there be.
You get down to the center, Joe Tippmann from the Jets. Right guard is Sidney South from the New England Patriots. Right tackle is DeJuan Jones from the Cleveland Browns. And then you get to your defender on the edge, Arnold Ebiketie. Ebiketie flashed enough as a pass rusher in year 2 for onlookers to think he can take another step in 2024. His pressure rate jumped from 9.2 as a rookie to 16% last year. Big jumps from both of these players, Matthew Bergeron, Arnold Ebiketie, 2 young stars that can help lead the way here in Atlanta. Terry, your thoughts about that? I mean, you have Matthew Bergeron and Arnold Ebiketie on this list. Nobody else from the Atlanta Falcons is on this list. But a starting guard and a starting edge defender on the all breakout team, I'll take it. Your thoughts, Terry?
I think the sky's the limit. You know, I think, again, people keep sleeping on this team, and that's fine. We actually want them to sleep on this team. We don't want anybody to see us coming. But I think that, you know, this defense specifically just has a chance to be dynamic, man. Jack, you there?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I think this defense has a chance to be dynamic. I mean, they can be great. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do, man. I'm just, you know what I mean? I can't wait, because I think this Falcons team is going to shock a lot of people. I really do. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to dominate. I think, as Phillips says, they're going to kick a lot of ass and beat a lot of teams 35-10. But I think the things they're going to do specifically is dominate on offense. I think they are going to run it and throw it and ground and pound and just pulverize teams to the point to where, you know, they're really going to have to change some plans and take some things seriously. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. And yeah, that's how I feel about it.
The one thing quickly before we get up out of here, if you're looking at what I just posted a couple of seconds ago, or we just showed on the screen, the PFF roster rankings had Zach Harrison as being the other end out here in our 3-4. But this PFF rating ranking has Taekwon Graham being the starter. So you have a competition camp battle there as well. AJ Terrell, Clark Phillips, they just mentioned it on the other page. Jesse Bates Helms, they just mentioned it over there. Ellis and Anderson, Carter and Ebiketie. But on this post, Taekwon Graham is your starter through PFF's rankings. On the other one, they had Zach Harrison. So there's something to watch for here, Falcon fans.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm about to say the Falcons tweeted out something. I was about to say, don't break no news right now, because I tell you, we'll do another hour.
Do it.
I'll join Terry's podcast. We'll do another hour. I guarantee.
Come on over. We'd love to have you. Come on over. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But Terry, the 2024 All Breakout team, Matthew Bergeron, Arnold Ebiketie on PFF's list here should have fans excited, because fans saw what Matthew Bergeron did as a plug-and-play starter last year. And, of course, Arnold Ebiketie, they're ready for another breakout season from him. You know, well, I mean, what do you have? With the 4.5 or 5 sacks last season?
I think so, yeah.
Check out Arnold Ebiketie, number 47.
Won't they call him
Uh,
AK-47?
yeah, I got him right here.
Is that his
Cool dude too
moniker?
as well. I met him a couple times, man. He's super cool.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard he's super cool.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. 2023 regular season stats: 16 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles for Mr. Ebbe Katie. Big shout out to Arnold. Falcon fans, third party actions in the building with the Let's Go Falcons in the chat. Big shout out to third party action. Any Falcon fan, if you want to go ahead and get on the podcast, we have a couple panels coming up, a couple slots open. So if you definitely want to come in here and talk Falcons football with us, we'll let you know how to be a part of that on Sunday's podcast. Terry?
Yes, sir.
We are down to the last of the last. I know you have a podcast to get going to. Is Jabri ready?
Jabri is ready, sir. So, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do my shout outs and wish you guys a very happy Falcons weekend. And I will see you guys on Sunday. So when you guys conclude with One Time for the Fan, you can hop on over to at Terry Wilson for my ATL Sports 1 and enjoy our podcast. And we'll probably be talking about some of the same things. So, Jack, hey, man, shout out to you. Appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do, brother. Wonderful fans of the One Time for the Fan chat. Thank you. Thank you for being the wonderful people that you are. And we do it for you. We can't do it without you, and we'll continue to do it. And, of course, thank God. And, the usuals, my family, my job, everybody. So, Jack, see you Sunday, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you for that. And, hey, guys, when this concludes, hop on over. We'll see you there. Thanks, everybody.
Hey,
Goodbye.
big shout out to Terry from One Time for the Fan, heading over to take care of his podcast now. Falcon fans, this is what we do, man. One Time for the Fan. We are for the fan. It's from the fan for the fan, right? And you can see here, Falcon fans talking Falcons football on the Falcons Friday. And I just love making this stuff up, man, because this is what it's all about. We've got to unite as a fan base. That's how Bills Mafia and the Bengals fan base and the 49ers, that's how they show up. That's how they show out. We got to unite as a fan base because the team is going to be good this year, right? And all we display here on this channel is positivity. Sunday night's podcast will be back at 8 o'clock talking Falcons football. For those that want to be a part of some upcoming events, I'll go ahead and post that Sunday here in the chat. So you guys can slip on out and put on your Falcon colors and come hang out. We have a cookout. Well, yeah, technically it's a cookout. It's a Pro Fanatics cookout. But if you want to come out next week, we'll have a lot of Falcon fans out there. We'll have our tents out there. We'll have our grills out there, making some food, kicking back, talking Falcons football. Might even play some spades. But I will definitely be going live from that event too as well. It's June 22nd. So on Sunday's podcast, I'll post the information for you all so you guys can see it. But big shout out to everybody here in the chat. Big shout out to everybody in the channel. Once again, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Thank you for being a part of One Time for the Fan. I had a great time talking with all the Falcon fans today. I know Terry has a great time too as well. Carrie was here in the chat from One Time. Big shout out to Chase from DFU. I believe they go live tonight too as well. Bodie 3000. Who's going to be back with us shortly. He has a lot going on, but big shout out to Bodie 3000 as well. And all the other Rise Up content creators that, do great content for the community. But you never know when you'll see a pop-up show. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you guys can, find out when we're going live. But Sunday night at 8, we are back. Head on over to For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. For My ATL Sports 1. Terry has a podcast right now with Jabri, the Archangel. So I'm sure you'll be able to hear some more Falcons talk over there too as well. Big shout out to everybody in the chat.